This is the most succulent, juicy and tasty gyro sandwich you ever made yourself.
What? Big thanks to Masterbuilt for sponsoring this video.
It all starts with 3 pounds or 1.5 kilograms of a chicken fillet. It's the absolute best meat to use if you want to make chicken gyros, because the chicken thigh has the most flavor of all the meat on a chicken. And the secret that makes it even better is the little floppy bits of fat that sit on the outside. And instantly the first ingredient that everybody thinks of is, of course, fresh garlic. You want to have some fresh garlic on your gyros, but don't make the mistake of putting too much on. For me personally, 3 cloves will be more than enough. The next ingredient I'm going to need is the zest of lemons. I'm going to use the zest of 2 lemons. Now, of course, you're going to wash your lemons before you zest them. And the trick is to only get the outside of the skin. You want the yellow parts, not the white parts within, because the white parts are bitter. They don't have that nice fresh flavor that you get from the outside of the skin. Now, I won't be throwing those lemons out because I'm going to use the juice 1 lemon, and that's going to go on our chicken, followed by 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and of course this, the PitmasterX gyro spice mix. Now, we have the recipe on our website for the spice mix. You can make this at home, or you can buy it in the shop, preferably your local barbecue dealer, and he will definitely have this on stock. We're going to use 4 tablespoons of the PitmasterX gyros rub. Once we got it all covered, I'm gonna mix it up with my hands, and that's going to be the marinade for the chicken. It's going to be fresh, it's going to be tasty, but you want to make sure you get it everywhere. And all those little nooks and crannies of that chicken thigh. They cover it up with some aluminum foil, put this in the fridge, and preferably store it overnight. And the least amount of time that you need for marinating is at least 4 hours. In the meantime, let's make a delicious tzatziki sauce. I'm doing it a bit different than most people would, because there's one version of it on the internet that everybody says you need to do it that way. But you don't have to do it that way. You can make it better, at least in my opinion. For instance, a cucumber. Well, I could peel the cucumber. I can take out the seeds, but I don't want to, because I think that the outside of this cucumber tastes freaking amazing. So all you need to do is just wash it and grate it fine. And by doing so, you're going to have the most powerful flavor from the cucumber for your tzatziki. Nothing is going to waste. Because if you're using a real Greek style yogurt, and the juices of the cucumber are going to make it more like a sauce instead of like a really thick yogurt. For 1 cucumber, I'm using 2 cups of yogurt. To that, I'll add the juice of 1 lemon, half a tablespoon of fresh ground pepper, 2 tablespoons of a good quality olive oil. Of course, we gotta have garlic. I'm gonna use 2 cloves, but you can adjust the amount of garlic that you're using, depending on the plans that you have for later on today. And then the most important ingredient is half a tablespoon of salt. You might think about skipping that part, but it's just gonna boost the flavor so much. Once you got it nice and mixed up, you're going to set this in the fridge for at least 2 hours. The garlic needs to spread out through the tzatziki and become like a mellow, nice, enjoyable garlic. And trust me, in 2 hours, it's going to get a lot more powerful with that garlic, and if you're just going to eat it straight away. If we're going to put in the effort of making the best gyros you ever had, then you might as well make your own pita bread. It's not that hard. It's definitely worth the trouble. There's nothing better than fresh baked bread to go with your meat. 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a 7 grams pack of active yeast, 7 grams of sugar. Then turn on your mixer, set it to a low setting, and add 1 1/4 cup of, all-purpose water. Also gonna add a teaspoon of salt. I got a nice wet sticky dough. Just like with pizza, it's like a little bit wetter than you would normally use. And the cool thing about a wet and sticky dough is that in the end, it's going to be like a really nice and fluffy type of bread. Real nice sticky dough is a little bit of a trick to work with. I'm gonna take my bowl, put some olive oil in it, and I'm gonna take this beautiful piece, put it in, swirl it around, get some olive oil on it, cover it with foil, and then set it somewhere warm, preferably in your house, where you can let it rise for about 90 minutes or until it doubles in size. Time to set up the Masterbuilt AutoIgnite for baking. And then I'm going to place in some heat shields and the pizza insert. And in about half an hour, my pizza stone is 350 degrees Celsius. Look at how beautiful the dough has risen. Now we got that beautiful wet pizza style like dough. You can see those little air bubbles, and just look at how fluffy this is. Shape the dough up, and I hope to get about 8 breads out of this. 1, 2, So I'm gonna take this dough, look how stretchy that is. The trick is to get it a little bit round to look good. I'm gonna do a couple more of these, shape them up, make them look good. Pizza oven is extremely hot, and therefore, once we start baking, I really want to get the tempo going, have everything prepared. Good to go. Now onto the Masterbuilt. Let's start baking. Let's just quickly check with the instant reading thermometer. 370 degrees Celsius. That is quite hot. So gotta be careful not to touch anything. That is going crazy fast. I might even need to cool it down a little. Let's check, see how it's doing. I think actually we're doing quite all right here. You can see it's rising up. Check the bottom regularly. You don't want to over-bake it. It's not a pizza. I just want it to be bread. You got the nice brown top. Bake the other side. I really like how the Masterbuilt turned out that beautiful bread. It is a really neat feature to have, like a nice grill with a pizza attachment. Cut this, and now we can take a look inside this pita bread. That looks really impressive. But what we haven't finished yet is the chicken. Look at that. That looks freaking delicious. Now this is oiled up, it's ready to go. And what I did is I set the Masterbuilt back up to the original setting with the grill grates, indirect heat, and the temperature I lowered down to 160 degrees Celsius, which is around 320 degrees Fahrenheit. That means we've got roasting temperatures. I'm going to put the chicken on and basically roast it. I want it to be juicy on the inside, but a little bit of crusty on the outside. Just a little bit of caramelization. The chicken is starting to look really good, but I want a little bit more crunch on the outside. Of course, I got a little crisp on the little edges, but I want more crust. So I'm gonna drizzle on a little bit of olive oil on the actual firebox. Use a paper towel, clean it up a little bit. And if I want, I can now actually take the pieces, then I want a little bit more sear on, and just put these on and grill. You got this hot anyway, it's there. And once the chicken has reached the core temperature, 75 degrees Celsius, it's time to take it off. This looks so good, but the smell that comes off this is just gyros aroma. Insane. We got that nice char, we got that crispiness. We're gonna get it down into little strips. You see, you don't have to have a rotisserie to do this. Of course you can if you want to, but it's all about the flavor that counts. Let's get that bread loaded up. I want some red onion to go in, get it nice, crispy and fresh. Then I'm gonna load it up with chicken. Then of course, I'm gonna put some of that homemade tzatziki, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Pita bread. Now that is what I call homemade gyros. My chicken gyros, well, here goes nothing. Wow, this is so good. Crunchy, crusty, delicious, juicy, literally loaded with flavor. Well, it's not easy to make, it's a lot of work, but still, it's not hard, it's not complicated. Go check out the recipe on our website, PitmasterX.com. Thank you to our YouTube members. You guys are much appreciated.